just this one?
Right, take that one because it's connected to the tank. When we pull the head, that'll stay.
Okay.
All right, and then you got that's off. That's off. Okay, now we got to take the intake off. So we got the manifold off. You're taking off the fuel injector lines off the injectors. Then we got to do is take off the head bolts, and then we should be able to lift the whole thing off at one time. They're not too tight. Heads off. Now we gotta disconnect the connecting rods from the crankshaft. One piston out. What? One piston out. Oh, we got all the pistons out. Now we got to pull the sleeves. They're going to say that the sleeves.
Am I turning the right way?
Yeah, tighten it. Keep this way.
Been taking
really
stuff apart all day.
It's really close to the edge. It looks like it's coming out. One sleeve out. But we're going to call it a day.
It's on, ready to go, and
Set to go. So we'll pull out number 4 and number 1, and then we'll clean the motor and get it ready for installing new O-rings, and then prep the liners to be reinstalled. Getting them in is, that puck in there is kind of tough because of the crankshaft. You got to move it around side to side and rotate the crank to get it to line up. Okay, number 1 cylinder's hooked up, and now we have to pull it off. Going. There we go.
Must have been a lot less rusty.
Oh yeah, looks like it. You heard it hit the ground?
Yeah.
Mostly like off around the sides and stuff. Get
Yeah.
that. I put it in number 3 and I got it to pop out. So that one's out, I believe.
Yeah.
But you just kind of get it down on the side of that O-ring and then you just get in under just alongside it and you just pull on it and it'll pop out. It's in there. I've been in there for years.
Yeah, I'm plugging at it, but
All right. Okay, I'm underneath it, and then just pull it out. There we
Got
go.
it.
You can see there's a lot of rust and stuff on the sides of it. This has got a lot of wear. Okay. Let me do the next one. Or you want to sit here?
I like to try again.
Whatever angle is most comfortable. You getting around top of it?
I think so.
Thought you had it.
I keep flipping it out, like just like strumming it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
So then try to wiggle behind.
gotta get behind it and then pop it out of its little slot. I mean, for all I know, the guy that did this, he might have glued it.
Well, I keep plucking it loose. I just can't. I go to get behind it.
Got it?
Yeah. Cool.
Got all the pieces.
Yep. There's a lot of gunk.
Yeah, that's why she's leaking. Okay, what means you got one more? That one I did.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't want anything like on the edge. You get along the edge here?
Yeah. Oh.
That's where it's set. After getting the sleeves out, we discovered a lot of pitting when we tried to clean it up. This one is the one that was the worst in the beginning. Like this portion through here is real nice where the O-ring seats, but here we've got pitting and I'm concerned that we might get a leak past the O-ring, so it seems that the best solution will be just to replace the liners with new ones, and then at the same time put new rings in. So now we're inspecting the cylinder O-ring area to see if there's any dirt or debris inside so the O-ring will seal properly.
Pretty good. You should
Is
probably.
the slot empty?
Seems to be empty.
You don't want any oil on the O-ring because it's neoprene and then that'll swell up eventually. So you want to be putting them in dry when you put them in there. You put it right into the slot down there and
Just start tucking it in.
just tuck it in. It should pop right into the hole. Going in all right?
Seems to be.
It's amazing this design even works. I guess it kind of works. Because if it worked really well, we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. All right, it's in. Much easier putting it in than taking it out, it seems.
Okay, yeah, I see it in there.
Yep.
I want to make sure that edge is real clean, because that's where your seat is on that lip, where it holds to get held down by the head. And now, yeah, wipe it out. Try not to get too much in there, because you got a new O-ring in the bottom. Okay, now set that upside down. Make sure that it goes into the slot, that it's not. Fit good?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right, now we're going to have to get some soap to put down at the bottom. That'll lubricate it as it slides through the O-ring around. So yeah, you put the soap on the lower piece, and the soap will lubricate the rubber, but will wash away when the water goes through the cooling system. This is one case where being liberal is good, probably the only case. Liberally apply the soap, and that way it will slide through and it won't roll the O-ring out. And then probably could put a little. Probably could put a little more on there.
This is the cleanest part of the project.
Yeah. Whoa. And then you put it in squarely when you get it all greased up. Put it in squarely, and then just set it down. Go in a straight line down. You'll probably hit that O-ring, and then you just kind of push. Maybe twist a little. Twist it as you're turning. Because you remember the O-ring ain't got any soap on it.
Yeah. Maybe we should have.
Is it going down?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you need more soap?
What if we put a little bit on the O-ring?
Can't hurt it. Yeah, go ahead, tap it. Presser fixture. Glad that board was long when we made that fence. Cut that extra off. Keep going. That's it. That's all she wrote. Good job. Looks pretty good. But they seem to be going, the O-rings are going in tight?
Yeah.
Good. Going easier than they came out.
Oh, big time. Just kind of walk it along. Okay.
All right, let's get the sleeves off. So I would do one at a time. It won't hurt anything if it drips down. Okay, that looks pretty good. Of course it won't go. I think it's asynchronous. It'll work on either side.
Well, that's kind of.
Let's stop and look and see if it's like got tight in there at all. There we go. Okay.
You kind of feel, you can tell the difference when you're hitting metal. If
Yeah.
it's turned, and you can tell when you hit the rubber.
Right.
Okay. Quicker. I don't know if that's good or bad.
I think if it was completely tore, it'd be bad. That looks good. Okay. One left.
Yeah, use more soap.
You think that's what did it?
I know I put on more, but it's hard to believe it made that much of a difference.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Okay.
In.
Cool.
It's weird, even the top looks wider,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Yeah, that is weird.
All right, I think we're in good shape. Let's we'll go to the putting the pistons and rods together. All right, today we're putting in the connecting rods. We're going to use a product called plastic gauge. We're going to lay that into the bearing piece of fine plastic, and then you torque it down to the setting, and then remove it, and then measure it up and see what the amount of how thin the part has expanded, and then measure that width, and that tells you your clearance of your bearings before you install them. And then what you do is you snug it in and then torque them, like maybe half, and then do the other one, and
Doesn't cock it.
yeah. We left the piston off so that it's easier for us to line it up, and then also we're not putting pressure on the new cylinders, the sleeves, so that they don't push out of the block with the piston going up and down, since they can pop up without a head holding them down. Alright, we got the pistons assembled to the rings. We're spacing the rings 90 degrees away from the wrist pin area, and then separating the other gaps about 120 degrees apart. Now we're going to put in the connecting rod bearings, and we'll put some oil on them so they're lubricated. We'll be using STP because it clings real well, and good old STP, you can't go wrong. And then we'll wipe down the outside of the area before we put them in the engine. Make sure there's no dust or dirt in there. There it goes. Now make sure that if it's going to protrude, it should protrude on the side with the notch, part the side that goes on the cam.
Okay, and we'll have to.
Okay, number one cylinder's in. Rings were compressed. When we got it in, we put a little bit of oil in there. So, because we know we're going to have to rotate it to do cylinders 2 and 3 because they're the opposite of the 1 and 4. When we put it in, we want to avoid having the sleeve or liner lift when the piston goes up. Well, we got number 2 to put in, and we'll have all the pistons in and torque down below. And after that, we put the oil pan on, and then work on getting the head assembled to the top of the block. It's going up and all right now?
Yeah. Pull these corner ones.
Pull the gasket out. So the trick on the pan is go on left to right as you're putting it up and then rotate it into place. Okay, we got the head gasket installed, and what I did was, there's a trick I always do is I took two 7/16 14 by 12-inch threaded rods and I screw them into two of the head bolts, and then what that does is acts as a alignment pin for the head as it slides over, and it also keeps the gasket in line, and since it's taller than the head, it makes it easy when you're trying to set it down, especially this head, which is off center and weighted to one side. This will make it a lot simpler for the installation. And then once it's down, we put in the head bolts and remove the threaded rods, and then put those head bolts in and torque it down. Okay, the head successfully went down. Now we got to do is get the bolts in and then remove the two threaded rods and put the rocker arms, push rods in rocker arms. One of the holes in the rocker arms is actually a head bolt, so that gets to get put in last. And then we start reattaching all the fuel and the electrical, like for the glow plugs to this. Now we're torquing the heads down, first to 40 pounds in the pattern they recommend, and then we go to 75 pounds, 75 to 80 pounds torque. And once that's done, then we'll put the valve cover on with the new gasket and lock it down. We're not changing the valve adjustments because it was set properly before. All we did was loosen the shaft and remove it, so there shouldn't be any changes. We lose a lot of sockets that way. And we still got to hook the fuel injectors up, get that done, and the return line and the pressure line, and then we got to do the cooling system, radiator, hoses, antifreeze, and then put in the new battery. Okay, all the fuel injection stuff's hooked up, and lines to the tank, return lines, and I got the valve cover on. Now all I got to do is work on the cooling system, which would be the radiator, upper and lower hose. I'm going to replace the bypass hose, and I just got done working on a bracket to mount the alternator, and it's a GM system, so we're going to put that on there, and then fill it with antifreeze. I've already put in 5 quarts of oil, 1540, and hopefully it'll start. Tom's putting the alternator on now, so we will be able to charge that new battery we had to buy for this. That's the water outlet, and after that we'll put the fan on. New lower hose. Well, we got the radiators almost in, got the hoses on, and we're going to put in the fluid pretty soon, the coolant. We're going to leave the air filter off so that we can ether it if we have to, and if something happens weird like it jumps in gear, we can stall it out by covering up the intake so we don't go out the side of the barn. But it would make a good video. Alright, let's see. We need a screwdriver. why I left the lid off.
Success.
All right, good
Yeah.
job. There you go. I'll let you film a little bit. I'm gonna start it up again. It's on.
It's recording.
Yeah, it's recording.